then you start putting the pieces together and you start saying, it's not right and I'm going to speak about it. See, when I saw Taraji broken on those platforms, it was painful to watch.
All right, now Taraji P. Henson and Nia Long allegedly had some issues on the set of Empire. Empire was on last night. And according to rumors, producers almost had to shoot the scenes they were in together separately. That's how much they didn't get along on set. Now, the rumor is that it's because of Nia Long.
And I'm just supposed to smile and grin and bear it and just keep, like, enough is enough.
If you want to call that difficult.
All right, let's get into this because everyone's talking about it, and the clips say it all. When you bring up Taraji P. Henson and Nia Long together, it's never a minor subject. Both are iconic, incredibly talented, and highly admired. Looking closer at their pasts, interviews, and what industry insiders share, a clear pattern starts to show, and it doesn't exactly put Nia in the best light. Taraji P. Henson has always been upfront about her feelings. She speaks out when she feels wronged. She's talked about the challenges she faced in Hollywood and how hard she worked to earn respect. So when Taraji gets frustrated or her mood shifts, people take notice. She doesn't stir up drama without a reason. There's almost always a story behind her reactions, and right now, she's clearly reached her limit.
I'm only human, and it seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling, when it's time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again like I never did what I just did, and I'm just tired. I'm tired.
Nia is without question a legend. There's no denying that. But over time, she's also earned a reputation for being difficult on set. This isn't only fans talking. Producers, directors, and fellow actors who've worked with her have said the same. Whenever this comes up, Nia tends to explain herself, saying she just understands her worth. But when the same accounts keep surfacing repeatedly, it makes you wonder if there's more to it than just a simple misunderstanding.
Rumor is that it's because of Nia Long and that she was extremely rude to the people in hair, makeup, and wardrobe. Now, Nia Long's people are denying that any of this actually happened, and they're saying all of this is just rumors. But there's also additional reports that she was disrespectful to the cast, crew, and production people. And according to these rumors, the hair and makeup actually lodged complaints against Nia and threatened a lawsuit as well. They said she was habitually late and that sometimes she would be about 30 minutes late to set and even be a no-show at times. And they would have to use a stand-in to rehearse so that Taraji and Terrence could actually finish rehearsing.
The tension between Taraji and Nia feels intense because it's more than just two actresses clashing. It seems like Taraji has reached her limit with someone who has had issues on multiple sets. When Taraji looks frustrated and Nia is defending herself again, it's clear. One is done, and the other is explaining herself. Add Monique into the mix, and things get even messier. She's been warning for years about women in Hollywood who smile to your face but plot behind your back. When she says that, people naturally think of situations like this. If Taraji is upset and Nia keeps ending up in controversy, it makes you wonder if Monique's warning rings truer than most admit. The big question is whether Taraji is just tired of dealing with someone known to be difficult, or if Hollywood is stirring drama between two strong black women. Either way, the tension is real, and Nia's reputation matters. That's why people are so curious about why Taraji reportedly dislikes Nia. Looking at their history, Taraji's frustration doesn't seem random. Taraji isn't the type to let anyone walk over her. When she feels wronged, she calls it out. That honesty is one reason fans admire her so much. So it was noticeable when Nia publicly supported Taraji after she spoke about pay inequality. Given their past, that support came off as a little performative, and Taraji had reason to be skeptical. When Nia joined Empire, things reportedly got tense quickly. Rather than quietly doing her part, insiders say she tried to take over the set and steal some of Taraji's spotlight. Empire was Taraji's show. She created Cookie Lion from scratch, and audiences tuned in to see her. When someone else tries to grab that attention, friction is almost inevitable. Taraji doesn't start drama for no reason, but repeated tensions leave their mark. Nia Long's career spans more than 30 years with iconic roles, but her legacy comes with a whispered reputation in the industry. Difficult, demanding, not always easy to work with. That reputation sticks longer than any award. Some of the frustration, sources say, comes from Nia never fully reaching the A-list stardom she wanted. Much of her career involved being typecast. Girlfriends, side roles, exes. She had leading roles occasionally, but Hollywood never elevated her to a mainstream superstar, which became a sore point. Take Alfie with Jude Law, for example. Nia thought it would launch her to the next level, but it flopped, and her momentum faded. Word is she held on to that disappointment, and it turned into resentment toward women receiving the recognition she wanted. There are examples. When Zoe Saldana got Avatar, Nia expressed surprise at not being considered. She praised Zoe but made her disappointment clear. She's also thrown subtle shade at others, from Halle Berry to Queen Latifah, feeling overlooked for roles she thought should have been hers. So when Taraji began landing major roles and widespread success, Nia reportedly questioned whether she deserved it. That history explains why Taraji doesn't easily accept Nia's gestures now. It can feel insincere. You can't throw shade for years and suddenly celebrate someone when cameras are rolling. On paper, it seemed like a win when Nia joined Empire in Season 3 as Juliana Lucius Lyon's icy ex, going head-to-head with Cookie. Her casting made sense, being close to Terrence Howard, but the set reportedly wasn't smooth. Insiders say Nia acted like the bigger star from the moment she arrived. Stories claim she was often late, forcing producers to use stand-ins so Taraji and Terrence could rehearse. Imagine a guest star causing delays. When she did show up, she allegedly made things harder for the crew, especially hair and makeup. If something didn't meet her standards, she made a scene until her demands were met. Reports say it got so bad that the team filed an official complaint. Many noticed a big difference in how Nia treated the crew compared to other guest stars. Professionals who've worked with countless big names rarely face complaints. But with Nia, small disagreements escalated into clashes. That made people wonder whether the issue was really the crew or if it followed Nia wherever she went. From Nia's point of view, the story is different. She has defended herself publicly, saying that after decades in Hollywood, she knows what works. She believes she has every right to speak up if she disagrees with hair or makeup choices. To her, this isn't being difficult, it's being deliberate. Nia sees it as protecting her image and expecting the team to meet her vision, not the other way around. She frames it as part of being a brown woman in Hollywood, your worth, and not letting others control how you look. Standing firm on her style is part of that fight. If people call her stubborn or hard to please, she says that's their opinion. What the crew might see as obstinacy, Nia calls strength and self-awareness.
So it's been a blessing and a curse because here's what I do now. Nia Long knows her light. Nia Long knows her makeup. Nia Long knows her hair. And you probably can't talk me into something else unless you show me. If you want to call that...
That's really where the split becomes clear. For the crew and co-stars, Nia's actions looked like unnecessary drama that slowed things down. For Nia, it was about standing her ground and refusing to compromise. Both sides are describing the same events, but their perspectives make all the difference. Then there's Monique, who has been vocal about everything. She's not just upset with Hollywood. She's frustrated by how some women end up playing into the same system that holds Black women back. To her, Taraji's struggles aren't just Taraji's. They reflect a pattern she knows all too well. She experienced underpayment and sidelining from Tyler Perry and major studios, and now she's seeing similar obstacles for Taraji. The painful part for Monique is watching Black women turn on each other, act petty, and make life harder for someone who should have support. She takes this seriously because she doesn't give up easily. She's willing to challenge studios and powerful men who try to push her aside. But seeing another Black woman create barriers for Taraji in such a tough industry hits hard. Monique understands that the system works by intimidating women and threatening to take opportunities away, and it keeps repeating if no one intervenes. That's the reality. If they don't step in, the system wins.
But Winfrey, you watched a Black woman be thrown under the bus and you said nothing as you spoke about equality, so you've dealt with inequality. And to watch another Black woman deal with inequality, and you keep quiet.
For Perry and Oprah, it looks like they think they can continue getting away with it.
The other part with Oprah Winfrey is, yeah, you let me get thrown under the bus.
For Monique, the tension with Nia isn't just gossip. It's a reminder of how Hollywood can turn sisters into rivals and use that as an excuse to keep women underpaid, undervalued, and overworked. The painful part for her is that she's been labeled difficult herself, so she could have sided with Nia, but she sees what's been happening and feels Nia deserves the criticism. On set, things escalated fast, especially when Nia was late. At one point, an actor finally snapped and asked, "Why are you always on Black people's time?" That immediately set Nia off and the set turned chaotic. Everyone rushed to calm her down, including Taraji. Taraji tried to lighten the mood with a joke. "Why are you so mad? Are you on your period?" Instead of easing the tension, it only made Nia angrier. She refused to back down, and Taraji, known for standing her ground, didn't either. This clash hit differently because Taraji has always been protective of her cast and crew. She knows what it's like to be overlooked, having started as an extra on Malcolm X, and she makes it a point to treat everyone with respect. So when Nia arrived on Empire acting dismissive, Taraji wasn't going to let it slide. She made it clear who ran the set. Taraji was the lead, and Nia was a guest star. According to insiders, Nia didn't handle being called out well. She allegedly refused to film scenes with Taraji, letting her ego take over instead of staying professional. Producers scrambled to shoot their scenes separately, trying to balance two strong personalities. This wasn't just about the crew anymore. It became a battle over who would be the center of attention. Nia had her own vision, But Taraji, as the creator of Cookie Lion and the heart of Empire, wasn't going to let anyone rewrite the rules. By the end of season 3, it was clear Nia wouldn't return for season 4. Even her exit was messy. Normally, when a guest star raps, the assistant director calls a rap, everyone claps, and the actor gets their flowers. Nia didn't get that because the AD was helping Terrence Howard with an allergic reaction. Allegedly, Nia complained she would sue because her send-off wasn't done properly, even though nothing in her contract guaranteed it. When stories about her being difficult surfaced, Nia defended herself, saying she always treated people with respect and that her confidence was misunderstood. She explained she knew her hair, makeup, and style best and expected the team to meet her standards. While empowering in theory on a busy set, that attitude came off as diva-like. The core issue is clear. If one person calls you difficult, it might be personal. 2, maybe a misunderstanding. But when crew, co-stars, and multiple productions say the same thing, a pattern emerges. Nia carried herself like she was above it all, while Taraji protected her team. That difference is why fans still side with Taraji and scrutinize Nia. Talent aside, Nia's attitude has been her biggest downfall, and the internet hasn't forgotten. Taraji earned her spot. Nia seems stuck trying to prove she deserves one. Word is, the tension on set got so bad that producers almost had to film scenes separately. The feud wasn't just personalities clashing. Insiders say Nia wanted Cookie Lion's spotlight for herself, trying to carve a bigger role even if it meant sidelining Taraji. But Empire without Cookie was never going to happen. Only one queen existed in that story. And by season 3's end, it was obvious Nia wouldn't reclaim that space. Sources claim tensions boiled over more than once, with moments where Taraji almost confronted Nia physically and cast members had to step in. The set was reportedly filled with side-eyes, whispers, and thick energy, making filming together nearly impossible. Insiders also said Nia pushed for storyline changes to put herself front and center, which would have sidelined Taraji. Once Taraji realized this, the tension never settled. Nia has also admitted that for years, she and Jada Pinkett Smith were often compared, with the industry deciding between the brown-skinned spicy girl or the light-skinned spicy girl. That constant comparison was hard enough, but with Taraji breaking out, Nia suddenly found herself out of the conversation entirely.
You're so mad. Are you on?
Here's where a pattern starts to show. Nia often speaks up whenever she feels overlooked. A clear example is Avatar. She openly questioned why she wasn't even considered for Zoe Saldana's role. She tried to soften it, saying she wasn't throwing shade, but listen to how she put it. She admitted there were moments she wondered, why wasn't I considered for that? She even added that Zoe is amazing. The real issue for her was not being in the running at all. Respectfully, Nia's past roles didn't really suggest she was the right fit for a high-intensity, action-packed sci-fi film. Zoe had consistently trained for physically demanding roles, while Nia was known more for dramas and rom-coms. Yet she still felt entitled to that opportunity. This isn't the only time she's inserted herself into conversations about roles she didn't land. After starring in You People, she mentioned wanting to do another rom-com with Eddie Murphy. Ambition is fine, but at a certain point it starts to feel like she's forcing roles instead of letting them come naturally. It paints the picture of someone who expects a certain level of recognition and makes it clear when it doesn't happen. That sense of entitlement gets more complicated when you consider the people she's worked with. Nia had chemistry with Terrence Howard long before Empire, starring alongside him in the Best Man franchise and reuniting in Life in a Year. For years, she shared that on-screen energy with him. Then Taraji came along as Cookie Lion, creating one of TV's most iconic duos with Terrence. Suddenly, the energy Nia once had with him was overshadowed by Taraji's presence. To the public, Terrence and Taraji became the ultimate work couple. That has to sting for someone who used to occupy that spot. What makes it worse for Nia's reputation is that she isn't the only one calling her difficult. Director Malcolm Lee, who worked with her on The Best Man, openly admitted that Nia could be a challenge to work with.
I was in constant competition with, mostly it was me and Jada. It was like, oh, do you want the brown-skinned spicy girl?
And that's not just gossip. This comes from a director speaking on the record, saying she made things difficult for him. Then there's Taye Diggs, who shared that during one scene she was supposed to give him a scripted slap. Instead of keeping it staged, he said she went full force, hitting him like she really meant it. He explained it completely threw him off because it felt intentional, not part of the scene. That's not professional, it crossed the line.
She slapped it out of me, like for real. And you get a moment where I go, woo! And I stayed in it.
It was so loud. And I thought, oh my God, I really smacked him like hard. And I'm so sorry. And I said, Tay, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm good.
And if this were just one or two incidents, it might be written off as a personality clash. But Nia's track record is longer than that. There was her ongoing tension with Jada Pinkett Smith, which never really settled. More recently, Sherri Shepherd shared her own encounter with Nia. According to Sherri, Nia physically grabbed her, spun her around, and accused her of shading her. Sherry had no idea what Nia was referring to, but Nia insisted, saying, "Yes, you have," before walking away. That's not a simple misunderstanding. That's someone deliberately stirring drama.
Arms, and they forcefully turn me around. And she says to me, she goes, "You've been shading me a lot." And I said to her, I said, no, I haven't, because I was really confused. And then she goes, "Yes, you have."
At this point, when directors, co-stars, and fellow actresses are all saying similar things about someone, it starts to look less like bad luck and more like a pattern. What's even more telling is that Nia hasn't spoken up to defend herself or respond to the rumors. No interviews, no statements, nothing. The longer she stays quiet, the more people start thinking there might be some truth to the stories. So now the question becomes, is Nia really misunderstood, or is this just who she is? From Hollywood's perspective, the complaints about her behavior continue to pile up. Public opinion only adds to the pressure. It's not just insiders or co-stars sharing stories. Fans, extras, and random encounters with people who have crossed paths with her describe her as rude or dismissive. Some say a cousin who worked behind the scenes called her a nightmare, while others recall seeing her act cold at a coffee shop, joking that the backlash might be karma. Social media threads prompting people to search Nia Long rude highlight dozens of similar negative experiences. One can have a bad day, but when so many people report the same behavior, a pattern becomes hard to ignore. Insiders also claim Nia blamed Taraji P. Henson for the setback her career faced after the Empire drama. In her view, Taraji had the platform and respect to step in and clear things up, but she stayed silent. And that silence spoke volumes. Meanwhile, Taraji's reputation only grew stronger. Fans and industry professionals saw her as loyal, professional, and easy to work with. Directors praised her work ethic, and co-stars admired her down-to-earth attitude. Every messy headline about Nia seemed to highlight Taraji's reliability and comparison. So, what do you think? Comment below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're the first to see my next upload. I post updates every week, uncovering the stories behind your favorite celebrities.